Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, and today we are talking about the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles, after years of futility and subpar play, finally saw their lengthy 6-year rebuild end in 2023 when they went 101 and 61. They followed that up in 2024 when they went 91 and 71. A team loaded with homegrown talent they've built through the draft from the ground up. Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Grayson Rodriguez, Jackson Holliday, Colton Cowser, Jordan Westberg. It looked like the Orioles had the core in place to compete for championships for many years to come. Now we sit here in May of 2025. The Orioles sit at a putrid 16 and 32 with no signs of help on the way. How did we get here? While this story could start the 2024 trade deadline with the Trevor Rogers debacle, we'll just highlight this past offseason what I believe was an incredible arrogant oversight by Orioles general manager Mike Elias. The Orioles watched their best starting pitcher Corbin Burnes and arguably their best or second best hitter Anthony Santander walk in free agency. Now look, you can spin the story to me relatively easily that Corbin Burnes getting that massive contract was a bad investment. After all, we have seen his strikeout percentage drop year after year, showing a decline in his skill set. As well as Santander, who probably profiles best as a DH. One-dimensional power hitters don't historically age very well. I can get behind the idea of letting both of these very important players walk. The problem lies with how they chose to replace those 194 innings of a 2.92 ERA and those 44 home runs and 102 RBIs. Starting with the lineup, Orioles replaced Anthony Santander with Tyler O'Neill, giving him a 3-year, $49 million contract. O'Neill had a nice 2024 campaign with Boston, only playing in 113 games. He did have an .874 OPS and 31 home runs. The problem there is the games played. O'Neill is always hurt. O'Neill debuted in 2018, has only played in 100 games or more twice in those 8 years since. O'Neill is a solid player on a per-at-bat basis, but to expect him to be healthy was foolish, and he currently sits on the 10-day IL as we speak with a left shoulder impingement. O'Neill was the really only notable move they made here for the offense. They brought in some veterans here like Gary Sanchez, Ramon Laureano, and Dylan Carlson, but no real impact moves. But while the Orioles are currently 25th out of 30 MLB teams in terms of runs scored, their lineup is somehow not the worst of their problems. This brings us to the starting rotation. You lose Corbin Burnes, how do you fill the void? Well, the Orioles replaced their ace with Charlie Morton, Kyle Gibson, and Tomoyuki Sugano. Charlie Morton is 41 years old. He's appeared in 12 games, making 6 starts in those 12 appearances. He is 0-7 with a 7.68 ERA. Kyle Gibson is 37 years old. He appeared, past tense, in 4 games, went 0-3 in those 4 starts with a 16.78 ERA. That's 23 runs in 12 1/3 innings. He's already been DFA'd by the team. Tomoyuki Sugano is the lone bright spot here. While the numbers under the hood aren't pretty, their surface numbers are very good at 3.07 ERA and 58 2/3 innings. The Orioles have had injuries to their staff with Grayson Rodriguez and Zach Eflin, which is very unfortunate. 2 guys you were leaning on to be a number 1 and number 2 to anchor the staff, but when you have literally no depth behind these guys and the rest of your soldiers are Dean Kremer sporting a 5.50 ERA and Cade Povich with a 5.23, these are the results you're going to see. We've gone over the absolute mess the Orioles front office put this team in, and then they went and they fired Brandon Hyde, their manager, who somehow takes the blame for this disaster. It's how baseball works. There needs to be a fall guy. They're not going to fire themselves, but it's still ridiculous. Believe it or not, my biggest concern for the Baltimore Orioles right now is something I have not even spoken about yet. My biggest concern for the Baltimore Orioles is Adley Rutschman. Adley is supposed to be the franchise player or co-franchise player for this Orioles team with Gunnar Henderson. So far in 2025, Adley is batting .208 with 4 home runs and a .637 OPS. This is coming off a 2024 campaign where he batted .250 with 19 home runs and a .709 OPS. Now that 2024 season was derailed by a putrid second half that killed his overall numbers. The belief was Adley was playing through a hand injury at the time, but now, the start he's gotten off to in 2025, it's very concerning that Adley is not the player we thought and hoped he was. If Adley is not that star player he was advertised to be and showed to be when he first came to the big leagues, the Orioles' outlook for the current and future drastically changes. For a team that many believed would be in the playoffs, to have their season end before June 1st is truly astounding. Playoff aspirations for 2025 are unfortunately over for the Baltimore Orioles, but looking forward, I have identified a few actions I want to see this team take. Number 1, play Coby Mayo. Mayo is the number 17 prospect in baseball. He's 23 years old, has great offensive numbers for his career in the minor leagues. The Orioles have both refused to trade him and refused to play him. You have to see what you have. You have to see if he can handle MLB pitching. There is no need for Ryan O'Hearn, Ryan Mountcastle, or Ramon Urias to block him in a lost year. Number 2, make an impact trade for a controllable starting pitcher. While that is easier said than done, you have this abundance of offensive players, whether they're turning into these star players you thought they were going to be or not. Get creative. The way I see it here, only Gunnar Henderson and Jackson Holliday should be untouchable. Everyone else, I think, are up for grabs for the right price. Get creative and find a way to help this staff for beyond 2025. Number 3, throw in the white flag. That means trading Cedric Mullins, who's set to hit free agency at year's end, Sugano, who's on a 1-year expiring deal. See what a Ryan Mountcastle or Ryan O'Hearn can bring you back. And where the Orioles have a real chance to make an impact in terms of the return is in their bullpen. Yenier Cano, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and even Felix Bautista. Every trade deadline contenders are in need of and overpay for relievers. Trading some or all of these relievers could really bring back a nice return. The Orioles are going to be incredibly interesting to watch going forward. It feels like they're teetering right now on a can they get this thing back on track in the right direction, or do they need to enter another long and grueling rebuild? It's in general manager Mike Elias and his front office's hands. All we can do is wait and see. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great day.